Welcome to live testing testing. This is so weird. I wonder it's gonna come to my live. Well, here we go. Let's start reading, shall we? Oh, look, I got one person. Welcome to the chat. It's just you and I, but pretty interesting nonetheless. Want to hear me read for today? Because I guess that's what I'm gonna be doing. I'm gonna read some stories. I'm not a story, actually more like a book. I'm not a good reader, but I'm trying to get better. So I guess you're listening to me read for a second, just for a second. You don't have to stay for too long, just for a little bit. I'm gonna read from a random page. So yeah. Many speakers therefore use a speaking slot. See, not the best speaker or reader, I should say. Many speakers therefore use a speaking slot simply to share their own story. It is the simplest, easiest to prepare type of talk there is. Damn, why is this hard? I don't know why I can't read. I'm actually having a hard time reading. There's a comfort to it. You know your story. You certainly know more about it than anyone in the audience. If your journey has been remarkable, if there's a coherence to the narrative, this type of talk can work really well. But there's a trap here too. Remember, the goal is to give. Personal stories sometimes fail to do that. They may entertain or intrigue or boost the speaker's ego, but they don't automatically give the audience something they can walk away with. Insights, actionable information, perspective, context, hope. And that's the real shame of one of the biggest reasons we turn down applications to speak at TED. Is when we're offered compelling antidotes, but no central idea that wraps the narrative together. This is heartbreaking because speakers are often wonderful, fascinating people, but without the wraparound of an idea, it's an opportunity missed. The key shift needed is an artful edit of your journey that links together critical moments in a way that someone else can derive meaning from them. Without that, even your life has been impressive. The talk may feel rambling and self-indulgent, but if the journey reveals something powerful you have learned, and if each step is your journey is revealed with humility, and honesty and vulnerability, it is a journey we will gladly make with you. There's one other non-negotiable essential if you tell your own story. Let's see. Why do I have like one person watching me? Oh my gosh, super weird. Okay, back to it. There are many ways to work. there are many ways. There are many ways to wonder what can go wrong. However, their most foremost is when the work is described in an inaccessible language. Some professions have ghastly tradition of using needless, obscure, over-intellectualized language to describe their work. With art, architecture. Oh my god, I have two people watching me now. Topping the list. When practitioners feel the need to use the same language in a talk, they shouldn't be surprised to see their invited guests quietly slipping out the back door. In this work, I sought to challenge the paradigm of identity versus commodity, my bad, in the context of postmodernistic dialect. If you're ever tempted to say anything remotely like that, please take out your sharpest pair of scissors and slash it out of your script. Steven Pinker pointed out to me that this type of language is much worse than simply the misuse of jargon. Paradigm in the dialect are technically terms like DNA that specialists can't avoid. They're meta concepts about their other concepts, rather than concepts about things in the world. An academic's bespeak, corporate boilerplate, archaic bafflage, or tendencies of incomprehend. I don't know. Damn it. This is hard. I have one viewer, and they're still listening to me. Thanks for staying. They are filled with Metaconcepts like approach, assumption, concept, condition, context, framework, issue, level, model, perspective, process, range, role, strategy, tendency, and variable. There's a value used for these terms individually, but use them sparingly when they pile up on each other, endangering audience comprehension. Instead, the goal should be give us the inside scoop. Oh dang! I got another person. There's a value used for these terms individually, but use them separately. When they pile up on each other, you're endangering audience comprehension. Instead, the goal should be to give us the audience scoop. Give the inside scoop. Instead, the goal should be to give us the inside scoop. Share with us. In ex- oh crap, I'm still being watched. Human language. Share with us in accessible human language. Accessible human language. What you were dreaming of when you started the work. Shows your creative process. How did you get there? What mistakes did you make along the way? When illustrator David Macaulay shared his drawings of Rome, he showed not just finished works, but his drawings of Rome. He showed us not just finished works, but his mistakes and dead ends and how he got from there to published illustrations. That meant that every creative person in the room could learn something from it. Lifting the lid on your process is one of the key gifts of any creative talk. Above all, design the talk to give us maximum experience of the work itself. If your work is if your work is visual, consider cutting way back the number of words you use. Instead of put the focus on visuals. Focus on visuals. A 12-minute talk can comfortably reveal more than 100 images. Perhaps some sequence are allowed just 2 seconds of screen time per slide, and they can be amplified in their power by. Yeah? We are?